Hey bird watchers, in this demo we'll use ClickUp as our way to manage localization of Shopify content. We'll explore an AI-only workflow and then a traditional TMS one using Phrase. ClickUp is a versatile project and task management tool where custom fields can be very powerful for automation. So let's add some to this task and see what Blackbird can do. We'll be managing our localization workflow here for a specific marketing campaign. This will be a Shopify page we need translated in a few weeks. Flight URL will be something we pull from Blackbird later, so we can leave blank for now. We'll add the page ID from Shopify, that's the page we want translated. And we'll set our starting localization status because Blackbird will update this field as the process moves along. Add source and target languages. Select the process we want this to go through. And there's our entry. Let's head back to Blackbird to check out our flight. Our new task has triggered the flight and we'll gather the custom field data. We'll use libraries to convert the languages from our ClickUp form to ones that Shopify and the other systems are going to be able to understand. Download the Shopify content. Use a condition to process our workflow based on the selection in our ClickUp form, and then set our localization status as in progress. Since we selected AI only, OpenAI is going to do the translation, upload back to Shopify, set our localization status to complete, and then send a Slack message to let us know. Let's click on the link from Slack, and here's our task in ClickUp. Our flight URL has been added and the localization status updated. And we can click on the flight URL to see our final flight over there in Blackbird. Now let's do the same process, but select human translation as our process. Similar flow as before, getting metadata, converting language codes, and updating ClickUp, but now our decision branch will flow to match a human translation workflow. It creates a project in Phrase, adds a checkpoint to wait for the process to finalize there before continuing on. Back in ClickUp, we can see the localization status now says in translation. In Phrase, we have our project created. The file from Shopify was uploaded. We leverage our TM, add in Phrase Language AI, and have human translation and review to complete the process here. We mark our job as complete. And back in Blackbird, the checkpoint will complete. Download the translation from Phrase, upload it into Shopify, update ClickUp, and then once again send us our Slack message. In Shopify, we can see our finalized contents. Now, if you want to stick around for a little bit more, I'll show you a more technical view of how this bird was all set up. Our bird starts with an event when a task is created in ClickUp for this specific list that I've added here. We'll download the task. We'll use a utility to get the flight URL and then other information about this flight. And then we send the URL back to ClickUp by updating this custom field. Now we add actions to extract the data from the custom fields we want to pull from ClickUp. And then use libraries to convert languages across the systems. If you're not familiar with libraries, it's a way to store data such as language codes that can be used in a bird to look up and convert the current selection you have to a corresponding columns entry. So in the bird, you use a convert operator and select the origin column, ClickUp in this case, and then the column you want to convert it to. Here, we're using a variable to create a dynamic content ID to pass to Shopify based on some static text and then information we pulled from ClickUp. We pass the content type from our field in ClickUp and then also the variable for the content ID. Next, we use our translation tier selection from ClickUp along with a condition to route our process to the appropriate path. We're setting our localization status to in translation. We added 3 separate steps here per path to simulate unique flows, but really we could have just added this one step before the condition since it is the same step per each flow. In our AI-only path, we use OpenAI to translate the content and then send back to Shopify. In our AI APE path, we add in Taos Epic to edit the content before uploading to Shopify. In our human translation path, we use metadata from previous steps to create the project in phrase. We upload the source files and then have a checkpoint to wait for the project to be done before downloading the final translations and sending them back to Shopify. We set our localization status as completed in ClickUp. And our Slack message uses static and dynamic text to create a unique message per workflow. And there you have it, a workflow triggered by ClickUp, some tedious data entry automated, a choose your own adventure style workflow, and connectivity across multiple systems. Because with Blackbird, any process can fly.